The story of World War II is one we think we know well. It's a tale often summarized in just a few dramatic sentences. The Third Reich rises, Poland is invaded, France collapses, the Soviet Union faces Operation Barbarossa, Pearl Harbor burns, D-Day changes the tide, atomic bombs fall on Japan, and the war ends with the Soviets reaching Berlin. But history is rarely so simple. Even a more detailed version of this story tends to distort the truth, omit critical details, and paint an incomplete picture. For example, why did Japan truly surrender? Was it really because of the atomic bombs? Or what about the global scale of the war? Was it as universal as we've been told? In this video, we're diving into some of the most pervasive myths about World War II, facts you thought you knew, but that history has twisted or overlooked. Let's uncover the truth and explore the hidden realities that shaped one of humanity's darkest chapters. It's no secret that the Nazis were responsible for horrifying atrocities, from the Holocaust to devastating experiments on humans. Similarly, Japan's military carried out unspeakable acts, including Unit 731's gruesome medical experiments on 250,000 civilians and the massacre of 100,000 civilians in Manila. But war crimes were not exclusive to the Axis powers. Allied soldiers also committed heinous acts. Research indicates that U.S. soldiers sexually assaulted thousands of women across Europe and Japan. These events challenged the simplified notion of good versus evil, revealing the complexities of war. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki caused devastating destruction, 88,000 killed in Hiroshima and 70,000 in Nagasaki. However, these were not the deadliest bombings of the war. That grim title belongs to the firebombing of Tokyo on March 9th to 10th, 1945. Dubbed Operation Meeting House, it left 100,000 dead and over 1 million injured or displaced. This raid obliterated 41 square kilometers of the city and destroyed much of Tokyo's industrial infrastructure. Yet this event is often overshadowed by the atomic bomb narrative. It's widely believed that Japan surrendered because of the atomic bombings, but this isn't the full story. By the time Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed, the U.S. had already firebombed 66 Japanese cities. The key turning point was the Soviet invasion of Manchuria on August 8, 1945, which opened a second front that Japan was ill-equipped to handle. This Soviet offensive, more than the bombs, sealed Japan's fate. While the United States played a vital role in financing and supplying the Allies, the Soviet Union bore the brunt of the war. Over 80% of German casualties occurred on the Eastern Front, where the Soviets lost millions of soldiers and civilians. After the war, Cold War politics led to downplaying the USSR's contributions in Western narratives. General Eisenhower may have commanded the operation, but D-Day was far from an exclusively American endeavor. The British played a significant role, providing 2/3 of the air forces and the majority of naval and landing craft. Even 1/3 of the supplies used by U.S. troops came from the United Kingdom. The narrative of an all-American triumph ignores the essential contributions of Allied forces. While no Axis troops invaded the U.S., over 455,000 Axis soldiers were held as prisoners of war in America. These prisoners were housed in over 500 camps across the country, with humane conditions often described as a gilded cage. This lesser-known fact highlights the complexity of the war's logistics and its reach. Despite its name, some argue that World War II was fought mainly by a few nations. Yet its battles and effects truly spanned the globe, with conflict reaching the Middle East, South America, North Africa, and the Far East. Neutral states were few, and no corner of the world was untouched. While the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941 shocked the U.S., it was not entirely unexpected. Tensions between Japan and the U.S. had been escalating for years, and American intelligence had intercepted communications indicating a potential Japanese offensive. However, the exact timing and location of the attack caught military officials off guard, leading to one of the most infamous moments in history. Germany is often credited with having superior technology during World War II, from advanced tanks to jet-powered aircraft. While they did pioneer several innovations, their technological edge was not as overwhelming as often portrayed. Allied forces, particularly the United States and the Soviet Union, developed technologies such as radar, mass production techniques, and the T-34 tank, which proved crucial to their success. The swift German victory over France in 1940 has led to a lasting perception of French military ineffectiveness. However, this overlooks the challenges France faced, including outdated strategies and a lack of preparedness for Germany's blitzkrieg tactics. French resistance efforts later in the war significantly contributed to the Allied victory. While initially caught off guard by Germany's Operation Barbarossa, the Soviet Union quickly mobilized its vast resources. Factories were relocated eastward and weapon production ramped up. The Battle of Stalingrad marked a turning point, showcasing Soviet resilience and strategic adaptability. Civilians played a vital role, from enduring sieges to disrupting German supply lines. These efforts were crucial to the Soviet Union's ultimate victory on the Eastern Front. The defeat of the Axis powers in 1945 did not entirely eradicate fascist ideologies. In many countries, authoritarian tendencies persisted or resurfaced, often fueled by Cold War dynamics. The global political landscape became more complex, with old ideologies adapting to new contexts. This myth oversimplifies the long-lasting influence of fascist movements post-war. While most history books mark the start of World War II as September 1, 1939, when Germany invaded Poland, many historians argue that earlier conflicts signaled the true beginning. Events like Japan's invasion of Manchuria in 1931, the Second Sino-Japanese War in 1937, and Italy's invasion of Ethiopia in 1935 were critical precursors that set the stage for the global conflict. Not all Germans were enthusiastic supporters of Hitler and the Nazi Party. Resistance movements like the White Rose and individual efforts by dissidents worked to undermine the regime from within. These acts of defiance came at great personal risk, highlighting the diversity of opinion within Germany during the war. The narrative often portrays the United States as being dragged reluctantly into World War II after Pearl Harbor. However, the U.S. had already been providing significant aid to the Allies through programs like Lend-Lease and had engaged in naval skirmishes with German U-boats in the Atlantic well before formally entering the conflict. Through these myths and misconceptions, we gain a clearer understanding of World War II. The truth, as always, is more complex than the stories we've been told. By revisiting these myths, we not only uncover history's hidden layers, but also gain a deeper appreciation for the multifaceted nature of this global conflict. What do you think about these myths? Do you agree or have more to add? Share your thoughts in the comments below and help us uncover even more historical truths. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more thought-provoking content. Thank you for watching.